Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Friday. It's so exciting for it to be Friday, unless you're an entrepreneur, and then it doesn't matter what day of the week it is. And I just want to say good morning to everyone who's out here loving on me and supporting my mission. I first want to just say thank you to a lot of people that have supported this, what I'm doing, and who I am, and what I'm about. Because what I'm going to talk about a little bit today is the flip side of that. And um, it's not been easy, to be honest. Who has haters? Who really like legit has people hating on them and talking about them? Well, you may not even know. Like I found out yesterday that someone said something about me like a year and a half ago, and I don't even know who this person is, and they're judging me, right? And we tend to have people that judge us, but unless we stay small, and when you stay small, it's easy. You don't have haters. You stay in your lane. That was what my dad taught me. He's like, stay in your lane, stay here, stay like get a good job with a pension, with annual leave, sick leave, and holiday pay. I mean, he worked for the state of Missouri, and his father was a school teacher, and my mom worked for the VA hospital, and we come from a family like that's a generational thing, is being in this space where it's like stay in your lane, don't go this way. He actually literally said you might scratch up your paint job. I'm like, dude, I don't care if I scratch up my paint job. I want to drive the car. And I visualize myself out there like in one of those demolition derbies with my jalopy having a good time. And when you think about this, I want you to think about this, entrepreneurs out there, people that are trying to make a difference and have a mission. I want you to think about the fact that you are going to have haters if you are in the arena. And I love that quote from Roosevelt. It's like those that are in the arena. I mean, Brene Brown sort of revitalized it and brought it back to life. But it's true. When you put yourself out there at all, I mean, at all, even going to the grocery store, somebody's going to judge you for how you parked your car or how you're pushing your grocery cart. People are going to bring their ideologies and their belief systems and their values. And one of the things that really got me about this was when I was in Dallas. I was at a seminar for Tony Robbins, and I mean, you guys who follow me know I follow Tony very closely. And he said something that I was on my way to the bathroom, and it was like my ear grew. It was like, what is this? What's he getting ready to say? And what he said was, there is no evil, only a difference in values. And I was like, what? But what about, of course, but what about Hitler? And I'm like, nope. There's just a value system that was along those lines. So if you're here, drop something in the comments to say, are you trying to get out there with your message or your vision or your mission? Do you have a mission? Do you have something that you're passionate about? Is it something that's in alignment with some of the things that I do, helping people and saving horses and helping animals? Is it something along those lines? What is your passion about? And how responsible do you feel to further that passion by getting in the arena? Because I feel like, and Grant Cardone says this brilliantly. He says, if they don't know you, they can't help you. They can't help you if they don't know who the hell you are. But they also can't judge you if they don't know who you are. They also can't criticize you if they don't know who you are. So stay in the closet, stay small, stay playing in your lane, right? If that's the way you want to live your life, and there's no judgment. I'm just saying too, and this is something, just all these great entrepreneurs that you follow. Elon Musk in an interview was great, famously known for saying, if you need words of encouragement, don't become an entrepreneur. He said, what words, it was the interviewer said, the reporter said, what words of encouragement would you give a starting entrepreneur? And he said, if you need words of encouragement, don't become an entrepreneur. And it's true. I mean, I had done a fundraiser for the horses, and somebody had contributed to that fundraiser, whatever it was. And then later down the road, several months later, they saw me at a Joe Dispenza retreat. And they're like, well, did I just pay for her to go to that Joe Dispenza retreat? Maybe. I don't know. All of my money goes to helping the horses. I'm not sitting here polishing my Fabergé egg collection. And even if I was, if you want to contribute to that, then great, right? But otherwise, don't do it. And I'm okay with that too, because I want to be in a world where the people that are seeing this see me for who I am and see me for what I'm doing and what I'm trying to achieve. I mean, as much as I went to that event, they don't know. Maybe somebody got me a ticket to that event for my birthday, and that's what they wanted me to do. I don't know, So you don't know what's going on. So, and I'm paraphrasing the Bible, but judge not lest ye be judged. But we are all judging and we're all criticizing. And if you want to come out and put yourself in the arena, you got to have some thick skin. You have to be prepared for the people that are going to, that are going to hate on you or take what you're saying and twist it or call you a fraud or call you a thing. And you got to be able to stand in your truth. You got to be able to know who you are and what you're about. You have to really have it dialed in as to what your superpower is and how you're going to use that for not only your own benefit, but for the world. Because God doesn't not want you to have retreats and to things and also feed your horses. He doesn't want that for me. He doesn't want me to have one or the other. He wants me to have it all, or she, however you want to perceive creator, the universe, God, whatever. I call it God. But there's an abundance here. There's an abundance to be had. And that doesn't mean that we have to be in this forced altruistic state. That's, go read The Fountainhead or go read some Atlas Shrugged, some Ayn Rand. It's like that forced altruism does not work. It does not. And so for someone to give with something attached to it or a judgment around it isn't actually giving. It's actually attaching. And it's actually judgment, and I look at it too. And I've done it because it's human. It's human for us to be in that space. It's human for us to judge. It's because why? Because in tribal order, in our reptilian brains, in our survival instinct, we want people that are around us that are like us or that we aspire to be like. That's the first pillar of building rapport. Attracting people that are like you or that want to be like you, and putting yourself in a position to, but that's why there's tribal order. And that's why there's things like uniforms. That's why there's things so we can determine who's the enemy. Have you ever watched one of those crime shows or a war show or something? You're like, who's shooting at who? Right? As God forbid there be friendly fire. Right. And so when you look at that and you're putting yourself out there, man, I love it when people hate on me. I'm not saying I want to attract more haters because I love people to love on me too, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay because I know who I am. I know what I represent. I know what I'm about. Now, do I question? Of course. But then when I do that, I go to God. I go to source and I go, what guide me? What am I missing? What information do I not have that you can help support and give to me? How can I grow myself to serve others at a deeper level? How can I grow myself? So maybe that's why I was going to the Dr. Joe thing. So I could get something from that event or that experience that I could then come back and give. It'd be no different than taking a college class in a similar light. You pay a lot of money to go to college. And what do you get after you go to college? You have more credentials and more whatever. Now, these days, that dynamic has changed quite a bit, but traditionally, that's what it is. So the dynamic has changed. And so instead of going to a college class, I went to a retreat. I went to a something to where I could bring that back. And you know what I brought back? I brought back these incredible walking meditations that we now do with the horses that I would not have understood how to do correctly or in a way that actually impacted the people that came here had I not gone to that experience. Growing me to serve you. Growing myself to be the best version of myself and the highest version of myself so I can serve myself and you. And you know what? It's really okay if I want to go get my hair done because I need to. And it's really okay if I want to go and have the beautiful abundance that this world has to offer. Why would someone judge me for that? Difference in values, difference in beliefs. And put yourself in a position where when you put yourself out there to stand in your truth, so those judgments and those daggers that are going to get thrown at you the minute you step outside, you're ready for, and you're ready to dip, dodge, duck, and dive. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, right? So you got to be able to understand how to deflect those things or embrace them in a way that allows you to deepen that belief in yourself and that truth that you have in you. What do you believe about yourself? I just started watching the show on, I don't know, Netflix. It's called Physical. And it's about this gal that starts this aerobic empire in the 80s, and she has an eating disorder and all this stuff. And it's like, what does she believe? And you hear the inner talk, the self-talk. What do you believe? What do you truly believe about yourself? And what are you telling yourself on the regular? What are those things? And are they empowering or disempowering? Are you taking, like, for a moment, I was like, oh, ouch. Boy, somebody said something negative about me. And I'm like, but that's not true. What that person said, I don't even know who it is. It doesn't matter. It isn't true. What's the truth? Stand in your truth. And you get really clear. And the more you can have affirmations around that, which we talk about in my Zen Club community, building my tribe within that community to help people understand the value that horses have, that they can help you stand in your truth. Trust me. Yesterday, I did a session with my assistant, Mackenzie, and she was out there playing with Dante. And Dante was like, you don't even have to be clear with him. You just have to be decisive. And you have to decide what it is that you want for yourself. What is your decision about yourself today? What do you decide about who you are and how you show up? What does that feel like for you in your work life, in your professional life, and at home? And if you're watching this on LinkedIn, look at that and say, what am I believing about myself and my job and my business or my staff or my employees? And if you're watching this anywhere else, what do you believe about yourself when you're at home or with people that aren't? I used to be really bad about going to networking events because I hated walking in the room and looking around all the people judging me. Every single I walk in the room and every single person judges me. You ever have that person that when you walk in the room, you feel the energy? Well, I am that person. They could feel like they feel me pull into the parking lot, much less walk into the room. So where is a time that you have felt judged in your life that you shied away? Where was a time that you felt judged in your life that you leaned into it and stood even more firmly in your truth? No one is going to tell me how I'm going to feel or who I am or what I'm about. Because I know this. I know who I am. One of the most important questions you can ask yourself and answer in a way that channels source. Who am I? Everybody talks about it. Oprah, Deepak, Eckhart Tolle, Michael Singer, Tony Robbins, all of them say, who am I? And my horses tell you that too. They tell you who you are, a little reflection of yourself. And it's so important. And if you guys have been watching any of my reels lately, we're always having fun. So you say, and I wear those I am shirts, and my friend Lauren has the I am cards that I always give out to people. It's like, I am. And whatever you follow that with is who you are and who you become. And those affirmations are so incredibly important to understand how you affirm and validate yourself through source and God. And ask yourself those questions. Who am I? Say, you know what? I am playful. I'm fun. I'm resilient. I have a low tolerance for pain. I have a low tolerance for bullshit or BS, other people's belief systems. But I'm open-minded. I'm open-minded and I listen. I'm skeptical, but I listen. And that's it's the fifth agreement. If you guys know Miguel Ruiz, who wrote the 4 Agreements, brilliant book. The fifth agreement is be skeptical, but listen. I don't like the word skeptical because it makes it sound like you're like, I would say discerning, but skeptical is maybe an easier word for people to understand. I don't know. I would say have discernment, but listen, sort through. And sometimes you never know, you might find a gold nugget. But a lot of times, especially when you really, truly know who you are, who are some people that you know in your life that know who they are, they stand in their truth, and they don't allow people's opinions to affect them. They know who they are, they stand in their truth, and they don't let other people's opinions affect them. Who do you know? And where are they in your circle? What kind of proximity do you have to more people like that? I'm not going to let people think that I'm one of them. Come hang out with me, right? Because it'd have to be real tough for me to not know who I am and what I'm about and the truth that I stand in, regardless of what anyone says about me or to me. I've had I've had people like my people I looked up to. And that's another piece of inspiration from people like Elon. It's like his big dagger to him was when the people that inspired his dream to go to Mars were criticizing him for that exact same vision. But he said, I had to, he deflected that, internalized it, and processed it and moved past it and said, no, 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 this is who I am. And this is what I'm about. And I don't know if you like Elon, hate him, judge him. I don't know. Doesn't matter. He stands in his truth. Agree with it or not. And you have to respect that. And even if the value system isn't in alignment with you, just having just a little bit of respect for people that stand in their truth. I mean, let's face it, I disagree with it, but Osama bin Laden stood in his truth. Pure difference in value systems, but you win, and it can go off in a way that can turn you into a zealot, and no longer serve you. But people like Tony Robbins stand in his truth. People like Grant Cardone stand in their truth. Like some of the people I really admire, Brene Brown, beautiful example of standing in truth, are really, really incredible people. So find those people that you can relate to and aspire to stand in that truth of who you are. Because when you know who you are, other people's opinions of you won't matter anymore because you know the truth. Somebody could say to you, you have ugly purple hair. Well, okay, maybe I need to get it colored, but it sure ain't purple. And the only reason we know that what purple is because of the definition that we have over time as humanity given to it. You look at the paradigm of time, like we all follow the Roman calendar, all of us globally, everyone, no matter what language you are, if you are on the grid at all, even if you live near the grid, you know what January is. And we all have that communal belief, right? But what's the truth? The truth is, if you're in a tribe in South America that it's not on the grid, they don't know what January is. They don't know what March is. And so their truth is different. The way they look at things is different. And wouldn't the world be a nice place if we could just let everybody live in their own truth and stop trying to influence everyone to live in ours? Right? But there's almost over 8 billion. I think we broke 8 billion people on the planet. So we're in proximity to humans. And it's getting tougher and tougher to, put yourself in the place where you aren't around humans that are on the grid. So when you put yourself in a place, you go ask yourself, who am I? What is my truth? If you're on here, drop something in the comments. When was the last time you felt judged by someone? I just got kicked out of a women's group here here locally in Wellington. And I'm like, yeah. And it was like, oh, aren't you upset? And people reached out to me like, oh, wow, aren't you upset she kicked you out of her group? I'm like, no, because I know who I am. And I know that the right people will show up on my lives. Those of you that are here watching are meant to be here. Those of you that are not, are not. And maybe someday you will be, but not right now. And that's okay. Because I know that in my heart that what I'm doing is helping people. And what I'm doing is saving horses. And the one, I had someone, and if I said who it was, you would know who it was. They're a very well-known individual, reached out to me and said, kind of in a judgmental way, so how many horses have you saved? I'm like, what number would satisfy that question? That wasn't really a question. It was a challenge. She was challenging me and kind of being a bully about it. Like, well, how many horses have you saved? Well, isn't one enough? Maybe I'm creating a system so other people can come out and experience horses in a unique way. And I can put that system into other horse rescues and into other ranches and into other spaces so they can use this and share this program with more people that don't have access to horses. And maybe that way I can create something that takes a systematic approach instead of going and fishing and getting one horse and saving one horse. Maybe I can create a system to where you can go and save more horses. Maybe stop wasting your calories judging me and take a look at yourself. Or not, but stand in your truth, ladies and gentlemen. Know who you are. And if you want to discover who you are in a way that is completely unique and it's fun and enjoyable, come and spend a weekend with me. Come and hang out with these horses. Come and lean into what a horse can teach you about who you are from source with no ego. Because that's the beautiful thing about a horse. They don't have an ego the same way we do. They don't judge us. They just say, I'm going to reflect how you show up. I live in theta brainwave. And if you take me out of that, I will tell you. And when you know how to listen, like a horse whisperer, they don't call me a horse whisperer because I whisper to them. They call me that because I listen to the whisper of the horse. And when you can hear that, it is a lightning rod to the divine. And that's really how I have been able to survive a lot of the daggers that have been thrown at me, because some of them hit straight to the heart, especially from people that in the past I respected. Now I learned that they have turned in that respect card with me, and I don't have that respect for them anymore. And that's okay too, because they're just in a different storyline of their own truth. I don't judge them. I just don't give them something they haven't earned. And I hope that as you're listening to this, I'm earning your trust and your respect. And you understand that there are things about yourself that are so deeply expressive and valuable and passionate. There's something inside you. I meet so many people all the time at events and out here coming to the horses. Everyone has a beautiful story. Sometimes it's a story of suffering or resilience or breakthrough. But everyone has something that is meant to be heard. What's yours? We all have something inside us that's worth sharing. And Sarah Blakely said it best. We all have $1 million idea. All of us. It's inside us. And rediscovering who you are, that's what this is all about. It's not becoming, who you are. It's about just releasing what isn't you. I look at it like a hot air balloon. You're releasing the ballasts. And the more you rise and the higher you rise, the fewer crabs are going to be able to snap at you and bring you down. The less people will be able to influence you. And when you go to the stratosphere with this stuff and just belief in this great, like depth of soul belief in yourself, anything's possible. Anything is possible. You can even create something that no one's ever heard of out of thin air when you had no money and no place to live, and build an empire around it to be able to serve. That's what I did. I started this in hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt as I was living on my personal assistant's sofa waiting tables. I started creating this out of thin air, and I love waiting tables. I love to serve, and I realized that that's who I was. I was a server. And I wanted to serve. And I knew that bringing people food, as much as I enjoyed that, I love it, that I could have a deeper impact with the skills that I've spent the last 20 years developing with horses and natural horsemanship, and the last 13 years working with some of the best thought leaders of the world, and the tens of thousands of hours I've put into this. I said, I can have a deeper impact. I can serve people at a higher level. But when you're doing something that's new and nobody understands, judgment comes out of the woodwork. Support that comes out of the woodwork too, though. And I have people loving and supporting this. And if you want to be one of those people, reach out. I'd love to hear from you. We're doing good things here. And it's so funny because when I talk to my mom, she's like, her big thing is, which TV show are you on? It's just her mindset. And I'm like, I worked with this group of women last week and they really had some incredible breakthroughs. That's not what gets the attention, right? It's the likes, it's the followers, it's the people that are lifting you up. But what if you could stand in your truth no matter what, no matter how, a lot of politicians have to do it, and like it, love and hate them, I don't care. They got to stand in their truth. And, I'm not a fan of any of that, but they still have to stand in their truth. And even though even if their truth is that they're corrupt liars. I don't know. But it's who you are. And when you tune into source, when you listen, literally set yourself up to listen to God, you will hear the same thing I hear when I work with someone with the horses. I hear it, I feel it, and I observe it. When I'm out there with someone with a horse and they're working with Dante or Bella or whatever, I see it. I see it like a channel to source. And it allows me to help them through their breakthrough and through their emergence. Because so many of us believe we need to struggle, that we need to effort our way through life. But the truth is, the rose doesn't struggle to bloom, it just blooms. And all in its natural timing. But the rose isn't over there going, oh, I'm sorry, I wish I was a petunia. This person says I should be a petunia, and I'm not a petunia. Be proud that you are who you are. And the more you can be still and ask yourself, who am I? And listen to source, capital S, and come out and play with my horses. They'll tell you. I mean, they don't call it horsepower for nothing. And it's a whole different way of looking at life and yourself. And the gifts that I've gotten from these animals have been unbelievably transformative. And when I realized that that was what was going to be my mission, is to share the power that horses have to teach leadership, help people heal and gain confidence and stronger communication skills, I was like, I'm in. I love working with offices and businesses and groups, do team building and culture development, personalities, understanding what's going. I love it. And that's my truth. That every single thing that I do, every retreat I go to, every event I experience, every place I go, I look for opportunities to serve. So if you guys are out there and you're criticizing me, that's okay. I know who I am, and I want you to know who you are too. And I want you to believe in that version of yourself that can rise and serve the greater good while you experience the abundance of the world of the 3D. So have an amazing Friday, you guys. I've got some really great stuff coming up. We're doing the last of the the last of the August monthly birthdays discount for my weekend getaway. So if you want to come and spend a weekend with me, I would do it now. The sale ends August 30th. So make sure you're jumping in on that, or August 28th. Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. I'll have to look and see what the date is, what she said. I think she said Monday, whatever. I'm terrible about this. Maybe I don't live on the Roman calendar. Monday night at midnight, which is the 28th. So if you want to come and visit me, make sure you're jumping in on that sale. I'll put the link in the comments. You can come and spend a weekend with me and the horses, my beautiful property in South Florida, and learn something that these animals can teach you that is a truth without the ego of the judgment, the value system of someone else, and channel straight from source, something that you will take with you for the rest of your life. You'll never forget the horse that chose you. All right, y'all, that's it for me. I'm going to be off this afternoon, and follow me on social. And if you want to come and see me, just drop me a comment. All right, y'all, have an amazing day.